Okay, so my recording is now active. Okay, so to model the wheel, of course you need reference, and I just happen to have a picture of this wheel at this angle, so this will help me judge how deep the spokes are going in. Alright, and then I have one large image, okay, showing what the design of the wheel, what does it look like. So I'm going to crop this image, and then I'm going to bring it into Maya and then start to reference the wheel design. So I'm going to open up this image first and crop it. Open with Photoshop, right mouse click on it, open with Photoshop. And I'm going to place this image in my source images folder. Okay, so first things first, I will drag some guidelines so that I can isolate the position of the wheel. And also at the same time, you want to crop this right to be use a ratio of 1:1 so that it is square, so that this is fixed as a square image. Okay, this looks good enough. Then I'll press enter to crop this. Okay, the image is not very clear, but I think it's sufficient detail for me to start modeling this particular wheel. Alright, so now I will save this image, export it. I'm going to export it as a JPEG, and then yeah, just export this and call this the alloy wheel reference. Okay, so I just need one image and that's good enough. I'll be jumping between this image and this image here so that I can judge how deep the hub actually goes into. Alright, so if you want, you can also bring this image within Maya and put it side by side, but I'm just going to leave this open and jump out between Maya and this image as I model the wheel. So let's just start a brand new scene. I don't want to model the wheel within this the car shot here. I'll probably model the wheel and then bring it in later on. You can see that the size of my car is kind of small, so I'll probably be modeling the wheel within a one grid size. So I'll start a new scene, which is this one. Make sure it's the correct project. Alright, and then import in the reference. So shift right mouse click, create a plane, reduce the divisions. Okay, probably around this size. Then I will assign the image. Right mouse click, assign a new material source, surface shader. I'll press number 6 on my shaded view, so the viewport will show shaded view. Then out color file, and then bring in the image. So under wheel reference, let's see, alloy wheel reference, which is this one, and just click open, and I should be able to see the image nicely done for me. So I will rotate this 90 degrees, this direction, and then this direction. Then I will bring this up until it's lined up to the ground and push this back. Alright, so if I look at the right view, okay, so this is what the car wheel looks like, and then this is where I'm going to start to model. Now, since we can count how many spokes this wheel has, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we just want to model this section first, and then we're going to use duplicate special later on, and it will repeat all these 5 spokes around. And the first thing that I will start to do is to draw the shape of this this single spoke, right? So maybe I'll just rotate, because this part here is very dark. I'm just going to rotate this so I can see more of this one instead. So I'm going to select this reference and rotate this so that I can see this section here, like that. Right, and I'm just going to approximate the center. Okay, you can press D to go into center adjustment mode so that you can have the pivot point right at the center of this reference. So I will hold on to X so I can snap it into one of the grids here. Okay, good. So now I will lock this reference, put it in its own layer, lock it, so that I will not accidentally select it, and shift right mouse click, and I'm going to use the create polygon tool, and I'll start by drawing out these shapes here. Okay, I'm going to start from this angle here. So click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then close it up and then press enter to finish it up. Okay, so now I need to subdivide this so that everything has 4-sided. So right now we have a giant multi-sided polygons. So you can see that there are many vertices spread all over just to define the shape. So first I'm going to select these two vertices that are running across here, shift right mouse click and connect it. Do the same for these two here, shift right mouse click and connect it. Alright, now I have to look at how the edge flows around here, and we definitely need to increase a bunch of edge loops here, so at least 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I need to split this into 4 sections. So I'm going to use my multi-cut tool, go to the option box, and under the subdivisions I'm going to split it into 3. Alright, so that when I hold down the control it will cut it 3 times. Well, actually I have to manually cut it this. I didn't want it to cut across here this way, so I made a mistake there, so I'm going to change that. I'm going to reset that to press Q to select, shift right mouse click, under the multi-cut option box, switch it back to subdivision 1. So I have to manually cut this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and maybe here 4. Right, then connect these down here. Press Q to select these two vertices, then use connect, then select these two again, and press G to repeat last command. G repeat last command, and then G repeat last command. Okay, although we have increased the number of subdivisions here, I don't want to increase it any further. So right now I just want to create the shape of the wheel. So we have to go and do that in perspective view. So this one will be a little bit tricky. You will have to make sure that you use the move tool and make sure you move them down in the correct angle. So a good way will be to split the panels into 2. I will make this into shaded view by pressing 6, and I will know that this particular face here, this one actually goes down inwards. Right, I can verify by looking at this reference image one more time. Okay, you can see this section here actually bends inwards. Okay, so I'm beginning to see that the wheel itself actually has specific direction. Okay, so this one is flowing this way, almost like a fan blade. Okay, let me check the image again. Let me put this side by side. Just want to verify. Yeah, the direction for the wheel is very different. This one is going this direction, and this one is going this direction. So later I will have to mirror it when I model this. So yeah, this part here, which is actually because I'm looking at the right side, sorry, the left side of this wheel, this back part here is going inwards. Right, so that confirms my thought. So I'll select this edge and then I'll just push it in, and then these blades over here, these one right bend in slightly, only slightly. Okay, but this section here still forms a relatively flat plane here. Alright, but this section here goes in quite a bit, right? And of course the hub itself goes in quite a bit. You can see from this line onwards, this whole entire section goes in quite a bit. So I'll just push this one in. And then this center part here, push it in as well. Alright, so now we have the single spoke that is created. Now I'm going to assign it with a material so that it is, I can adjust the transparency. I'm going to assign it with a Lambert material, then change the color, and then the transparency so I can see through this. Okay, and I'm going to be repositioning the vertices a bit so that I can create the spoke itself. And you can see here there's a circular line. So I'm going to move the vertices until it follows the circular line like that. And these lines should be around here. And yeah, so this one goes in quite deep. Okay, I'm going to switch back to this picture and then reference this again. So we can see this section here goes in quite deep here like that. Alright. Okay, so let's continue. So right now we're concentrating on one spoke only, and you can see that here there are faces that extend all the way here until it forms this circular area like that. So the top part section here should be in the same plane. So if I go to the top view, and I will use a scale and then flatten them in the top view like this, and then probably maybe push it out a little bit. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that I have this you can see the center, the bottom portion here is pushed in quite a bit, and then all these vertices are now lined up to form this flat area here. Okay, now I'm going to select all these edges here, and I'm going to extrude it out to form the one section of the rim. So shift right mouse click, and then I'm going to extrude edge, and then I'm going to use the actually I'm just going to move the extruded edge outwards like that. Okay, and then I'll manually move the vertices until it matches the circular edge of the rim like that. Now we don't have to worry about the circular look as of yet, because later we can use the circularize tool, or we can create another circular shape and use that as a guide to help us. Alright, so this one here, I prefer to move it over here and then realign this one, and this particular edge here, just to spread out the topology. I do not want the topology to bunch up together like that. And this one should be, yeah, I need to insert one edge loop that runs across here so that I can create that fan blade look. So I want to insert one edge loop right about here, so that these vertices over here can be pushed in like that, and then this one goes in a little bit more. Okay, we know these are going quite a bit more like that. I'm going to create a, later when I finish the wheel, right, I'm going to create a solid version of this wheel with a solid material so that I can see where this material is going. Okay, so this is start of the edge, and then it's so-called tapered down this way. I think this one needs to, this vertex needs to go down a little bit more, like that. That makes more sense. Yeah. Okay, the number of vertices are still relatively low, so we can still mess around with this. Okay, as for this one, we will definitely need to have a circular guide to help us. Okay, so now I'm going to go to object mode, and then I'm going to put the pivot point here. So right now the pivot point is at the origin. I'm going to press D, then holding down to X, then move it until it snaps to the center here. Press D again to get out. Okay, and we actually could use the duplicate special now to create 6 more copies, including this one will be 7. So let's try that now. We're going to duplicate it along the let's see, the x-axis. So first I'm going to freeze the transformation of this, delete history, and then freeze transformation, then go to edit, duplicate special, and let's reset this, reset the duplicate special. We're going to create an instance. We're going to rotate around the x-axis. So let's do some calculations here. Let's run out the calculator, pop up the calculator, and 360 divided by 7 will be this crazy angle here, like 51.428. So I'm going to just copy 51.428, rotate around this angle. Because 7, it is a very odd angle, and then we're going to create 6 copies along the x-axis, and then duplicate special. And then you can see the copies are now duplicated. And let's take a look at it in 3D view. And you can see that the wheels are matching along just fine. Alright, and then we can still, let me turn on the wireframe on shaded. Okay, so you can see what the wheel potentially will look like. Alright, so everything is looking pretty good, but right now there is no solid definition to it, so we will have to select the edge of this wheel and then just extrude it downwards. Then after that, right, we will join all these 5 pieces together and then make it into one. But that will be the last step. Alright, so first we're going to select the outer edge here. Okay, I'm going to select the outer edge here, and then I'll just extrude it inwards. Okay, I'm going to use my move tool and then just push the edge inwards, like so. And okay, in order to help me see this in solid mode, I'm going to select all of this. Then I'm going to duplicate special again. And I'm going to reset everything, just reset everything, just one copy, but instance. So duplicate special. So with all these duplicates selected, I'm just going to move this up. While all of them are still selected, you just right mouse click, assign it with a standard surface shader or a Lambert one. Okay, this is just for me to check to see whether this wheel, right, does it make sense. Okay, so far so good. Right, everything is matching pretty well. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to select the sides of the wheel here, all these side faces which was extruded. Alright, and then delete them away, including this one. And because these are instances, right, the original object will be selected as well. And then I'm going to delete this. And maybe these faces here as well. I don't think I need this. Delete this. And delete this. And now I can just move the vertices so that the ends match to form a circle. So this one can take some time. So it will be helpful, right, if you can create a circle with the same number of vertices, and then we can snap. Okay, which is what I'm going to do right now. So let's count how many edges are there here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 7. So that will give us 35. So we need to create a circle with 35 sides. So let's do that right now. Shift right mouse click, create a circular disc, and let's go and adjust the disc, give it 35 sides. Now it's only got 3 sides, so maybe actually no, maybe a circle might not be a good object. I'm going to use a cylinder instead. At least I can control the number of sides. So for this polygon cylinder, we're going to give it 35 subdivisions. Then I'm going to get rid of the bottom faces like that. Center the pivot and rotate this 90 degrees. Then position it exactly the same in the center here. So holding down to your X key while you are moving, press W to move, and hold down to X and then snap it into the center here. And this circle here, we can go to vertex mode, select all the vertices, use scale and scale it down until we form a nice circle. And we just need to snap, okay, use the snapping tool, right, to snap the five edges here to these vertices. Right, so let's do that now. I'm going to select one vertex here and holding down to V, we can snap it to, press W to move, holding down to V, we can snap it to one of the vertices here, then this one to here, this one to here, this one to here, and so on. So now I can see everything is matching, although there is a slight, maybe I want to snap one step forward instead. Okay, so there is one way, holding down the V and dragging it as you move it. Okay, so now we know for sure this is definitely going to fit. We can also use the same principles to snap the vertices here. Okay, but I think this is good enough. We know that this bottom here will form a nice circle. I don't need this guy anymore. I can delete this away. Alright, you can see now the bottom here will form a very nice circle. Okay, so let's see. I definitely would want the edge right here to join nicely with the next edge. I will then select this and then holding down to shift and extrude one section here. The good thing about the snapping tool is that you can snap to another vertex on the other side as well. So holding down the V and you can snap it to, let's see, right over here. Well, actually, I think I made a mistake. I mean, I assumed too soon. It is another software that can do this, not this one. Alright, so I'm going to just push this back a little bit and just roughly match it around here. Okay, so right now, later when I join all these together, it should fit nicely. So I'm going to do the same thing here. You can see that there's this particular edge here. Let me turn on wireframe or shade it. Okay, I want this to continuously join to this part here. So I'm going to select this edge, and this edge, and then extrude out one section here. And then for these vertices, I'm just going to try to move them as close to each other as possible. And later hopefully we can merge them together. And then these holes, right, I think we can fix it later on. Let's take a look at it in solid mode and see what does it look like. So just make sure that the lines will match. Okay, you can see that this area here, there's a big hole. And yeah, so this area is meant to be, this vertex is meant to go down a little bit more, like this. This one as well, go down until it touches this one. Okay, likewise for this one as well. So this one you really have to have a very good perception of 3D space. So later when we merge all of the sides together, all the vertices, right, should stick to one another. And as for the center, later on, right, we can just join all of these together and we can create our own center cone section. But other than that, I think this one looks pretty good for now. Oh, okay, then we still have one more section here. We need to extrude. So we need to extrude outwards like that. Hold on to shift, extrude. And same thing for the vertices. We just move it as close to the other vertices as possible because we're going to merge all of them together later. Okay, so right now, we are now ready to merge all the 5 pieces together. or rather the 7 pieces together. So you can select all the pieces. Okay, make sure everything is okay. It's all okay. I can still see some gaps here. Maybe it's meant to have some gaps. Okay, let me check. This is wheel is turning, supposed to be turning this direction, right? Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna select this face. I'm just gonna give it a big gap like that, and this edge here, holding down the shift, I'm just gonna extrude it down to give it some thickness. Okay, the back over there, I think. Okay, I think I will fix this later on individually, but right now let's just merge all of this together first. Right. So I can select back the original 5 pieces like this, or 7 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then apply a merge. Now, before I do that, this is very important. Always save as scene. Got this alloy wheel _01 and save, and then we go merge. Okay, go under mesh, combine. So when you combine, right, the references, the what do you call it, the instances will also disappear. Then we gotta delete history, freeze transformation, and we're gonna get rid of all these transform nodes. Okay, so now we're going to apply a merge vertices. We're going to select all the vertices. So vertices, right, which are close to one another, right, will automatically be merged if we apply this merge by distance. So shift right mouse click, merge vertices, and merge. And then we're going to increase the distance carefully, not too much. Because if you apply too much, okay, you see all the vertices will merge together and all your details will be lost. Let me undo that. Okay, or sometimes you, like in this case, right, I might have to manually go and fix this. Okay, I'm just going to select only these top group of vertices. Because I really don't want to mess the rest of the vertices up. I only want to merge those areas, right, which have a connection. Yeah. Alright, so now I'm going to apply the merge by distance. Going to use a smaller figure, 0.01, and let's try merging. Okay, still not enough, so let's try again. 0.05, and then try merge. Yeah, so now that works. Okay, so now everything should be joined together as a single piece. Gonna duplicate this entire object, edit, duplicate special again, just a instance, and assign this with a standard surface material, and then see what it looks like. And let's say if I subdivide this, okay, if you see gaps like that, that means there's still the merging here is still not done. So that means the section here which is still separated, yeah, it's not merged together. So we have to do our merging again. Let's try one more time. Let's drag all the vertices and apply the merge again. Okay, unfortunately you can see here there's some detail that's collapsed. Okay, let me just reduce the threshold, 0.02. Okay, this one might work. Okay, it kind of works, but because there's a gap over here, that's why it has that weird look over there. Okay, so now I'm going to select the faces that run across here. So this should be a continuous face, and we should be able to scale this to flatten this down. And let's see whether this works. Okay, I haven't tried this, but I'm going to use the circularize. I'm not sure whether it will circularize this faces selected at this angle. Let's try this, see whether that works. Okay, it does. I don't think it works. I think it flattened all my faces, which is not what I want. Let me undo that. So again, that's why you might need to have a guide, right, to arrange the wheels to get it to match. Another way that I can try is this is just a trick. Let me try this. Okay, let's try using edge instead. And circularize. And it should, yep, actually, you can see now the edge right now is nicely circularized. So if that works, I'm gonna see whether it works here. Okay, let's switch over to the right view again and then apply a circularize. Yes, it works. So I will have to, you can actually rotate this. You can see the topology line changes a little bit. But now we have a perfectly round and evenly distributed alloy wheel looking like this. Alright, so good. So now I can select this edge, pull it back a little bit. Then I can scale this up so that I can form like the rim of the wheel. So it comes out like that. I can extrude this out one more time. And then scale this down slightly. Now before I do that, I should hold on to shift and scale it down so that it will extrude in an edge just like that. So now we form the rim. Now what about this central portion here? Okay, it seems that this edge here is still not connected. Let me go to vertex and see whether this edge is still open. I think it's probably, no, it's actually connected. Let me undo that. Yeah, it's connected. So let's try one more time. It seems that it keeps on selecting the other edges which I do not want. Let's see, what can I do? Okay, I have to just hold on to control and deselect the other edges that I don't want. Holding down the control and deselect all those edges that are not meant to be selected. Only want to select the rim and then cap it up. Okay, so now only the rim is, or the edge is selected. I think there's something else is still being selected somewhere because it's not in the center. Yeah, there you go, this one here. This one. Alright, so okay, right now it's selected in the center. So use scale, holding down the shift, and then we're going to scale it inwards. Okay, holding down the shift and then scale it inwards. So now we form a cap. I'm going to scale it inwards one more time. And then maybe I will merge all these together. I will switch over these to vertices. Let me undo that. Go over to back to edge again. Okay, never mind. I'll just drag a box over these vertices. Shift right mouse click, merge, and then merge the center. So now everything is merged together. Right, so now we have this so-called circular hub. Let's take a look at it, what it looks like. Solid view. Okay, so it doesn't look too bad. Okay, now if you want it to have a what do you call it, subdivided look, right, you really have to insert a lot of edge loops, right? Because if you don't do that, you can see this is the result when you press number 3, and this is maybe not the result that I want. So I'm going to leave this as level 1, okay, without subdivision. And you can see that there are still holes here and gaps here that needs to be fixed. For example, I can just these two vertices here, or rather these three vertices here are probably good to be merged together. And we have to go around one by one to do that. Press G to merge these. G is repeat last command, so just press G, and G, repeat last command, press G. Okay, so all of it is now merged together. So hopefully now if I select this edge, yeah, because this is a three-sided edge here, that's why it doesn't select continuously. Double click, select, shift, double click. We can apply a bevel if we want. And let's see, should be able to cut this into two, but subdivide the edge. See if I can subdivide this, add a division to the edge. Then I should have this extra vertex here, which then I can hold down W, V, and snap it to this location. Then I can merge these two together. So these are just, right now, I'm just doing some cleanup work here. So again, go to the edge here, then shift right mouse click, subdivide, add one subdivision so that there is a vertex in the center here, and then holding down to V with move stage, then select these two, merge the vertices. So I have to go through this 7 times. So if you have a lot of spokes, right, make sure you do one spoke nicely first before you join everything together. So right now I have to do this bit by bit. Coming down to the last edge. Select these two vertices, then merge them together. Okay, this is the last one. Right, so this edge, shift right mouse click. Let's say add division. Okay, so now it's starting to make more sense. We have one more vertex here, which we can probably insert one edge loop and then fix it up here. Let's see, where can I put this? I can snap this down here, but it will create this exceptionally big gap over there. So let's see what we can do for this one. Okay, I'm going to try to see where I can reflow this. Well, let me just select this edge here and split it also. Okay, there'll be a multi-sided polygon here, so most likely I will just insert one edge loop that runs across here, like that. Middle mouse click and then connect these components. Yeah. Not exactly the best solution, but I'll work with it for now. Let's do a Okay, I think I'll merge this later on because all the vertices are pretty much sitting on top of each other. Okay, and then I'll do my cuts here for this one, this one, this one. Okay, we did it for this one already, so then we will do our snap movement. Snap to here. Here, and this one going to be snap to here. Okay, then we can grab all the vertices, merge the vertices, but using the lowest value, which is 0, and then merge. So all the vertices that are sitting on top of each other should be merged together. Oh, actually it didn't. Let's try one more time. Select all the vertices, merge again. Use a very small value instead, 0.001, and merge. Okay, there's a reduction in the vertices, so yeah, that should do the trick. Yep, let's stick together. Okay, that's pretty much it for this wheel, alloy wheel. Now if you want the edges, everything to be tighter and all that, it is recommended that you do all the tight tolerances, the edge loops to form all these shapes. Then you go and combine all the shapes together, because otherwise you will have to do it for every single spoke. That is why it is very important for you to save a file just before you merge everything together, so that in case you need to change the design of the wheel again, you can go back to the original and then do this one. So I will save this scene. I'll call this alloy wheel V1 for version 1, and we can actually, I can delete away the reference. I don't need this anymore, and I don't need this. Then I can import this into my car model. Okay, I don't need my reference as well. I'll delete this. Delete with the history. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this alloy wheel here into my sports car, rescale this, and then add a sort of a rubber tire for this. Say scene as V1 wheel only, and then open up my car. Okay, and then import in the wheel. Okay, you can see that the wheel is very big. Okay, not a problem, just assign it with a standard surface material. Scale this down until it matches the diameter of the car wheel. Let's go to the right view here. Scale this down. Okay, I need to center the pivot. Pivot seems to be a bit off. Yeah, right about here. Let's give it another material, assign a new material. Let's say blend material, yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to just borrow this wheel. I'm just going to get rid of the central faces here. So select the vertex here, shift full stop to increase the selection, and then holding down the control, right mouse click to faces, and just delete this so that I have the tire section of the wheel, so that I can so I put it together with this. Okay, I'm going to align these two together. Definitely this alloy wheel is a bit too big. So select these two, press W, then under align, should be aligned in the center together. Modify align, should be in the center. Yep, so right now it's aligned. Can click away. Okay, press number 3 for this. And just scale this down just a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to use this mesh display. Use this thing called soften hardened edges. So all those edges that are meant to be softened will be softened. Those that are meant to be hardened will be hardened. Alright, so now we have the alloy wheel here. So I'm going to create a set here. So this one will be the rubber tire. Now we haven't created any tire patterns for this one. We only create the alloy section. And then we are going to parent it under this wheel. So select the rubber tire and then middle mouse click and drag over it. Well, actually, maybe I'll just combine these two together. Mesh combine. So I can replace this wheel in the back. Shift T, and then now I have one set of wheels on one side of my car. Okay, so yeah, basically that's how you do the wheel. Now, of course, there's still a lot of fine tuning that needs to be done if you want extra detail to be added to the wheel. Okay, but generally that's how you create the wheels for a car.